The Stratosphere, it names this new Suzuki six-cylinder show bike, and it also describes the high frontier, that strange, elevated part of the atmosphere beyond all weather, where ramjets can breathe. There are two contrasting ways to look at this motorcycle. The first is to see a quite conventional 3/4 naked sport bike with a unit fairing/tank/seat unit of Craig Vetter/Hans Smooth's Katana influences, bolted into position on top of it. The Katana is, after all, celebrating its 25th anniversary. Is it a gleaming metallic horse whose legs have become whirling wheels? The other is to seriously consider the features list and realize that all that you see here can be implemented now. The Stratosphere may in fact be a warning, a teaser for what Suzuki is about to do next. Start with the obvious: the transverse inline six-cylinder engine, which Suzuki says is no wider than current four-cylinder power plants. Do the numbers: with 1100 cc displacement and current bore/stroke ratio, this engine will be roughly 18 inches wide. Across the fairing widths of current 1000 cc sport bikes are in the 20-21 inch range, proving the above statement. Even Ducatis have been 19 inches still wider than our notional straight six. And if Suzuki chose a bore/stroke ratio from the previous era, the engine could be as narrow as 16 inches. Why a 6? The history of the auto industry answers that 1/6s replaced 4s as soon as price permitted, because they are so much more civilized and easy to live with. They are smooth in every way, being self-balancing for primary and secondary shaking forces, and having 50% more propulsive smoothness than a 4. Lack of vibration from power pulsing. Inline 4s with fair-sized pistons need balance shafts to suppress the buzz of their secondary vibes. Why shouldn't motorcycles which need the extra chassis rigidity associated with solid-mounted engines be as smooth as automobiles? Four-cylinder engines in today's cars are anything but rigid mounted. They are elaborately isolated from their chassis by extensive math modeling, testing and plenty of compliant rubber. No such worries with the Stratosphere. What about torsional, twisting, vibration? The longer a crankshaft is made, the more subject it becomes to such modes, caused by the succession of impulses from the firings of the cylinders. In auto engines, this vibration is suppressed by a dissipative rubber damper on the front of the crank. In motorcycles, the simpler solution is to take power not from one end of the crank but from its center. This cuts the vibrating length of the crank in half, making it effectively stiffer and thereby raising its natural torsional frequencies out of range of excitation by cylinder firings. Engine accessories are located where they belong, behind the cylinders. How much power? Using 10-year-old technology, 180 horsepower, but pushing as hard as present-day sport bike engine designs do would yield close to 200. In either case, plenty, and with luxurious smoothness. 6s have a unique exhaust note, to music.